Well, happy February. We are in southeastern Michigan and it's February and it's an unseasonably warm February. The mornings have been below freezing, but by afternoon we're up into 50s this week, anyways. So I'm just taking you along today on our chores for the morning. And this chicken coop here where I just went in is our rooster, one rooster. He is being picked on by the other rooster and decided he was going to run away from home, and the neighbor's dog got him. So he's been recuperating in here by himself. He's fully recovered, really, but he's still afraid of the other rooster, so he stays here for now. At least till we can let him out so they can run free and he can run to safety. I'm feeding a fermented feed to our chickens, which basically I take their layer, the extra egg layer that I use, and a couple of scoops of scratch grains and put it in the bucket. And then I fill it with water till about an inch over the top of the feed. And then I leave it sit for 2 days and to ferment. And then I feed that to them. And they are still laying. I'm getting from these chickens here, I'm getting about 20 to 23 eggs a day, usually. And so they're doing really well this on the fermented feed. So now I am going to bring the sheep outside. So I bring them in at night and I take them out in the day and they eat their hay outside in the sunshine. Right now, my white sheep, Gracie, she is in a birthing pen in the barn, and she stays in right now until she has her lamb. And then the other 3 sheep will come outside. The black and white one, she is also due to have a lamb, and we'll be separating her like maybe this afternoon and putting her in the barn pen until she has her lamb as well. So they're about a week out, I would say, from having their lambs. I just want them to be in there, be separated, be comfortable being alone before they have their lambs. So these are Katahdin sheep, and the big black one there is our ram, and he could be a little testy now and again. That's why I carry that cane with me. What they're going over to this black bowl for is sheep mineral. And I have that, they have access to that 24 or 7 days a week, all the time. So whenever they're out there. So now I'm throwing down the new hay for the day and getting ready to pull Annabelle, our New Jersey heifer, out to give her grain this morning. And she comes out like she's coming out of a buck and chute, but she's really just as sweet as can be. So we really love her a lot. And here she comes. So I bring her out and tie her up and give her grain, and then I brush her out while she's eating her grain. So I'm getting ready to brush her, and then so she is just over 12 months old. She turned 12 months. She turned 1 year in January. And so we're waiting until she's 14 months old before we breed her, and we're going to have her artificially inseminated with another with a Jersey bull semen. Hopefully she takes right away. I can generally tell pretty close when she's in heat, and it's kind of obvious with her that she is in heat. So it should be, I'm hoping that I'm correct, but it should be fairly easy to know when I need to call the tech to come out and do her AI. So I brush her out, not every day, but pretty much every day, and then make sure that I run my hands down her legs and the brush down her legs, and I handle her udder so that when she does have her calf, she's totally used to me touching her where I'm going to need to touch her when I'm milking, and so I want her to be totally used to that when I'm, by the time she has her calf, so that maybe that will alleviate some of the issues with her not letting me milk, or being she's never been milked, I'm sure we're in for a real treat. So she's just so sweet. And so I bring her in every night and put her in a stall, and then in the mornings I give her grain and then put her outside, and she eats hay outside with Cassidy, the horse. And sometimes the goats come out and have hay outside, and right now, being it's so muddy, as you can see out there, all that mud, I keep the goats inside because they really struggle trying to walk through that mud, and I don't want them mud up to their bellies. So I just block them inside so they don't have to walk out through the mud, and then I feed them in the barn. But she does really well on a lead rope, and she pretty much knows the routine. She knows she goes outside every morning, and she knows she comes in every night. So, and she does do those things pretty easily now. And as you could tell, I was kind of stuck there in the mud. So these are the goats. They are Nubian goats, and the black one that's laying down in the back and going to be standing up here in a second is one of my older does. I milked her last year, and then there's the brown one laying behind her that I milked her last year as well, and the other two are their doeling babies from last year, and they are all due to have kids sometime in March. I think we'll start around the beginning of March and finish up at the end of March, I think, if everything goes as I think it did. So right now I'm going to feel for babies, and the general rule of thumb is groceries on the left and babies on the right. So but I could not feel anything. But I know they're there. You can tell they're pretty big, but they keep those babies tucked in warm, and so yeah. So this is Gracie. She's the sheep that's due in the next few days, and she's generally pretty wild, but she's been letting me feel her babies and pet her and touch her udder and lift her tail and the whole 9 yards for the last few days, which is very unusual for her. When we got her, she was wild, and she's been wild ever since until just here in the last few days. She's let me do these things, so even though when she sees me coming, she stomps her feet at me. But so this was our morning chores. That is the last of the chores that I'm going to do this morning. So hopefully our next video will have lambs and maybe even some kid goats. And I thank you all for watching, and come back again. Watch for more videos here at Heskett Haven Farm. Have a great day.